Alright guys, it's time for my movie review for the unofficial next film in the Taken franchise. That's what I thought this movie was going to be as I walked in to go see it. I did. Hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here with another movie review. Guys, in this video I will be reviewing the new Liam Neeson thriller, Non-Stop. Guys, Non-Stop is finally out in the theaters, and what I mean by finally is that I was actually looking forward to this movie because I am a fan of Liam Neeson. You want to know why I'm a big fan of Liam Neeson? Oh yeah, it's because of that 2008 movie called Taken, where he was a total badass in it. Yeah, so guys, as many of you guys, I'm sure many of you love Liam Neeson, and, you know, he's really made a name for himself, especially with the release of Taken in 2008. Then Taken 2 happened, and I think it let a couple of us down, including myself. And I was, of course, looking forward to his next film, Non-Stop, because let's face it, Liam Neeson, he's a boss, okay? He's a boss, and I know he's playing characters in the movies that he's in, but he does it so well. He just, you know, he could, like, look at you the wrong way, and then you just be dead, because he's Liam Neeson, and he's that awesome. So I was definitely looking forward to seeing Non-Stop, guys. And while the trailer makes this movie look like it's an average, actually below average, you know, crappy, cliched, predictable movie, it's really not, and it's actually really a lot better than what the trailer makes it look like and what some critics are making it sound to be. So, for that reason, guys, I'm going to say that I really did enjoy Non-Stop. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. And I'm going to say this much, that it was a really good thriller. So, with that being said, guys, I want to get into my review, my actual review for the movie, where I start talking about the plot. But before I do, real quick, guys, link down below to letterboxd.com. It's a really cool website where you can rate, review movies, you know, add movies, make lists and all that stuff. If you love movies, you should definitely be on this website. I recently joined that website. I made an account, and if you guys would follow me by clicking the link down below, that would be awesome. If you do follow me, I will follow you back if you already have an account. So, link down below to follow me on Letterboxd. But anyway, guys, getting back to Non-Stop. The movie starts off, and Liam Neeson is our main character. In this movie, instead of playing an ex-spy, Liam Neeson plays a federal air marshal. He's going on a flight to London, and Liam Neeson's character, he's had a rough past, and you can see that in the beginning of the movie. You know, he struggles with alcohol, and you could tell that there was a family tragedy in his past life, so he's definitely messed up because of that. But anyway, he goes on this flight to London, and at some point during the middle of the flight, Liam Neeson gets a text message from this hijacker who is threatening to kill a passenger every single 20 minutes on the plane if Liam Neeson doesn't get people to forward $150 million to an account number. So it's up to Liam Neeson to find out who's the hijacker out of 150 passengers on this plane, including the crew. And he's got to not only protect them, but he's got to get to the bottom of this and find this hijacker and stop him, because that's what Liam Neeson does, because he's such a boss. And again, guys, Liam Neeson was a definite boss in this movie. So, guys, now the premise of this movie, you know, it sounds like it could be an average, crappy, cliched movie. As I said before, it sounds like it could be, you know, very poorly done. It sounds like it could have no tension in it whatsoever, but all of those things, that's all opposite for this movie, because this movie is filled with great amounts of tension. It was very well filmed in that sense, and well directed and edited in that way, and written. And it really wasn't that cliched or predictable, except for maybe one thing, and that's why I really loved Non-Stop. And the fact that Liam Neeson is in this movie, and he's back again, not kicking as much ass as he did in Taken, but still kicking some ass. So as long as we get that too, plus a great story with, you know, a really compelling mystery going on here as to who the hijacker is, I mean, this is a good movie, actually. I really enjoyed Non-Stop. What can I say? I liked it. I really did, guys, so yeah, I did. And at first, when I watched the trailer for the movie, it looked like it was going to be a complete ripoff of Flight Plan. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie. It came out years ago, starred Jodie Foster, and it was another film that was set up in the air on an airplane. And it was involved another hijacking, and when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I said, oh no, this is a Flight Plan ripoff. And I liked that movie, but this movie was probably a little bit better than that. You know, it really had that tension that Flight Plan didn't have, and it was still different. So that's why I liked it nonstop. But anyway, guys, I'll talk more about a few other things I liked about the movie later on. Right now, I need to talk about the cast very briefly. Of course, I'm going to start off by talking about Mr. Liam Neeson himself. Now, is there any questioning of Liam Neeson's acting abilities or his abilities to, you know, punch a few guys and get out of a few sticky situations? No, there's no questioning to it. Liam Neeson still is a boss in nonstop. Not only that, he gave a really good performance. I mean, Liam Neeson can kick ass in the movies that he's, you know, in. And he's older. He's like almost in his 60s, I think, or is he? I don't know, but that's pretty impressive for him to do. But not only does he kick ass in the scenes that he needs to kick ass in, but he also gave a really good performance in this movie, and that's why I liked this movie so much, because not only because of how good his performance was in the movie, but because of how well developed his character was. Because at some part in the movie, he makes a speech to all the passengers about what's really going on with him, because they begin to suspect him of being the terrorist, and that's, you know, another thing that goes on in the movie. And, you know, he makes this speech, and you really feel bad for the guy. His character was very well developed. You feel bad for this tragedy that happened in his family. And Liam Neeson just makes you care for the guy, even though he's completely messing some guy up. So that's why Liam Neeson can not only pull off a good performance in the movies that he's in, but he can also really, you know, kick butt when he needs to. So that's all I gotta say. So Liam Neeson was great, carried the movie as I knew he would. He's awesome. Now, let's talk about Julianne Moore really quickly. Now, I do like Julianne Moore. I have nothing against her. She's a very good actress, but well, I'm not saying she gave a bad performance in this movie, but did we really need Julianne Moore in the movie? I'm not, like, she was kind of underused in a way. Like, you really could have gotten anyone to play her role. Like, she gave a fine performance. She was good. I mean, I liked the part. You know, she played a crucial part in a scene or two, but you could have gotten anyone to play. Like, I don't think they needed to go ahead and pay Julianne Moore to play this role. They could have gotten anyone. I'm not saying anything bad about Julianne Moore, but that's just how I felt. She kind of underused, kind of, but still, I enjoyed her presence in the movie, because Julianne Moore is Julianne Moore. And finally, guys, one quick thing I want to mention I thought was cool. Lupita Nyong'o is in this movie. She plays an airline flight attendant. And as I was watching the movie, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Lupita Nyong'o's in this movie. She was in a very minor role. She wasn't in the movie too much. But as I was watching this, I'm saying to myself, ooh, maybe this is a sign that she's going to win tomorrow night at the Oscars over Jennifer Lawrence. I hope she does. Please give it to Lupita Nyong'o Oscars. But anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to make mention of that. But yeah, back to Liam Neeson. Awesome job in the movie, kicked some ass, and that's what I was looking forward to. So guys, anyway, I think it's time for me to give my rating for Nonstop. I know a lot of you may be shocked with me, but you know what? Don't start throwing hate down there until you actually see the movie. Don't start saying, oh, this movie looks absolutely terrible. Yeah, it may look bad, but it's actually a lot better than it looks, and that's why I say you guys should definitely check it out. For that reason, I am going to give Nonstop a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I know. I was shocked when I told myself that's the rating I'm going to give this movie. You know, I was thinking about it on the drive home. I was riding home, and I'm like, should I go 9? And then I was thinking, maybe not. There were a few problems. But you know what? I looked at the fact that I had so much fun in this movie, and I was so invested in what was going on in the story and all that. That's why I really loved the movie. That's why I went 9 out of 10. So yeah, I'm sticking with the rating, guys. You can call me crazy, but I'm giving Nonstop a 9 out of 10. It's a lot better than it looks. And while it's not as good as Taken, it's still very entertaining and very suspenseful. So getting into the other things that I liked about the movie, like I said, the cast was great. No need to talk about them. Liam Neeson, what is there to say? Honestly, one of my favorite parts of this movie, the one thing with this movie that actually worked very well, was the story, especially for the first 2 halves of the movie. The first 2 halves of the movie, the story has that sort of tension that is very slow building, and then when it, you know, keeps building up and building up, the tension just keeps building, and then it finally explodes, and you're like, wow, I'm shocked. There were a few scenes in the movie I was sitting down and I'm like, oh, okay, things are getting intense here. I'm waiting for something to happen. I'm like, whoa, I can't believe that just happened. So I like when thrillers do that. They have that slow tension that slowly builds up, and then it just explodes and crap, and then, you know, a whole bunch of stuff is revealed, and you're like, wow, I can't believe that just happened. So Non-Stop definitely has those thrilling, suspenseful moments that I was looking for, so that's why it worked as a thriller, especially for the first two halves. The writing was very, very good for the most part. The movie was well directed. I thought the cinematography, apart from a few shaky, you know, kind of poorly filmed scenes, you know, but I understand why it was done like that. It's, you know, this movie's set in the air, so that makes sense. But the cinematography was good. The film editing was good. The movie was very fast paced, and it did not feel slow at all, and I liked that about the movie. And finally, the last thing I do have to commend this movie for is definitely the score. Like, I was listening to the score, I'm like, I gotta know who did the score. And by the end of the credits, I saw John Ottman did it, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. John Ottman is a good composer. So the score was great, really happy about that. So yeah, guys, that's everything I loved about Non-Stop, really. Like I said, I had so much fun with the movie, and that's above all the main reason why I love this movie. Now, is this movie free of faults? No, it's not. I have about 3 minor problems I have with the movie, but I'm willing to look past them. Number one, I think we were all expecting Liam Neeson to just kick ass throughout this whole entire movie. He really doesn't too much until the last half of the movie, and that's really because he's stuck up in air, in this airplane, and he doesn't know who the hijacker is. So for the majority of the movie, he's trying to find out who the hijacker is, so he's really not punching guys or shooting guys or anything like that till towards the end of the movie. So that's one thing you guys need to be aware of. Also, the beginning of the movie, there is, I'm not going to spoil this, I don't want to spoil who the hijackers are, I'm not going to, but there is one part in this movie, I'm like, is this person the hijacker? And then I'm like, I think he is. I think this person is. And, yeah, so there was one aspect of this movie that was a little predictable for me, and that's all I want to say. I really don't want to give anything away. And finally, the last thing that I really enjoyed about Non-Stop, the last problem I had with Non-Stop was the writing kind of got a little sloppy, a little messy towards the last, 20 minutes of the movie. Like, it felt a little outrageous. The tension sort of dropped. Like, the tension was so high in the first 2 acts, it sort of went down a little bit in the 3rd act. I would have, that was a little bit of a problem I had. And then, just, there's something the writers do with the story that, you can argue is pretty dumb and, just not that, well thought out, just a little bit messy, but I'm willing to overlook all those things because of how much fun I had in this movie, how intense this movie was, how awesome Liam Neeson was, and how great everything else was that I said with the film. So, guys, apart from those problems, Non-Stop is a blast. It is a really good thriller. One of the best thrillers I've seen in a while, actually. Not as good as a thriller like Prisoners or something like that. That's a really dark and disturbing thriller, but this is that kind of thriller that's enjoyable and intense enough for you to enjoy it. So, Non-Stop, 9 out of 10 for me, guys. I definitely recommend you guys see it. It was good. What can I say? And it's one of those movies that you think is going to be that type of movie that you'll just rent it on Blu-ray or find it on Blu-ray on Black Friday really cheap and watch it. But it's one of those movies I would even pay to buy it opening day when it comes out on Blu-ray. I really liked it. So guys, with that being said, let me know down below in the comments what you thought of Non-Stop. Did you like the movie, guys? Did you not like it? Did you think it was a good thriller? And also, guys, interesting question. Let me know down below, do you guys hate flying on airplanes? I've never actually been on one, surprisingly. I'm young, so I still haven't experienced that yet. So let me guys know, how is it flying on an airplane? Is it, does it bother you or not? So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Stay tuned for my Oscar coverage. Oscars are tomorrow night. Thanks again for watching, guys. Bye.